Taveuni, 40 kilometres by 15 kilometres, third largest island in the Fiji group, but significantly smaller than the bigger two islands. On the island, population of, I think it's around 17,000, and predominantly farmers in that population. So I'm assisting in particular the farming community with the work that I'm doing with these farmer groups, so the 40 farmer groups scattered right around the island. It's not a big thing, but and I think we're more isolated than most other people, being on an island. The first one that we knew we were going to be going without was the TV, and so that's not such a bad thing in a lot of ways. And in fact, we've been so busy that at night time we wonder how we would be able to fit in any TV anyway. So it's good, you don't have to worry about politics that's happening back in Australia. So the TV hasn't been a problem. The fridge was a little bit of an issue to start with, but it's amazing how you get used to not having a fridge. So we can buy long last milk. As far as the meat goes, we buy that fresh, and probably the only thing we go without was things like butter and cheese. So it actually hasn't been the biggest problem we thought, and of course we're getting fresh fruit from all around the place, out the back and from the market and things like that. I'm liking the current work because it's a lot more hands-on than I have been involved with more recently back in Australia. So it's been great driving around the countryside and more of a practical hands-on approach, and then I'm getting more feedback from the farmers. So it's great to have a farmer meeting and seeing their appreciation that they're seeing the benefits in some of the things that we're talking about in our discussion groups. So that's really good. That's something I enjoy. And we usually have a bit of banter in the discussions as well. So I like that part of it a lot. The language was probably something that I wasn't expecting so much to be an issue. And so when we have our group, some farm groups, that's fine. Their English is quite good, but in other groups it's been a limitation. So people have felt that they couldn't keep up with the discussion, so they've dropped out as a consequence. Things are not going to go the way you might think they are, the way you plan. So you need a very open mind as far as those sorts of irregularities happening. That's the number one thing. And things are just not going to go the way you thought they would. So accept that and things will be much, much easier. Being a bit thick-skinned is helpful, so particularly where there's another language being involved, and so you're not quite sure how much of the time you're the butt of the jokes. So just ride with it and just think to yourself, well, it doesn't matter. And yeah, I think that's certainly worthwhile, and don't take it personally, probably. Most of my work relates to the farmer groups. So with 40 of them meeting once a month, then it's pretty rigorous and getting around those. So to give you some idea, might be doing 3 farm groups in a day, and we have a meeting for maybe up to 2 hours with each group, discussing various things, so whether it's the role of fertilisers, the role of soil biology, making compost, a whole range of different things. So resources-wise, there's a lot more resources associated with this project, so I think I've been very lucky in that regard to have AVID funding helping with it, and also some backup on the research side as well. After I've long gone and departed, it'd be great to think that the farm groups are still going on. I think there's every chance that they will, so they have, nearly all of them have got some champion in that group that will, and that person will hopefully keep driving the group to keep meeting. So that's probably the crux to it, to have that sustainability where the groups keep going.